In the days when the baobab trees were young and the rivers sang louder than they do today, there lived a woman named Kamara, whose tongue was sharper than a porcupine's quill and whose pride stood taller than the iroko tree.
Look at this place. My sons bring life to every corner. Even the walls stand taller when I walk by. Do you hear them? Strong as their mother.
Yes, Kamara.
Remember that.
He left with nothing but dust on his heels. And you expect him to return with riches? Please. Chidi's village is so empty, even the goats have given up. Look, a whole clan of dreamers and not a single yam to show for it. I could carry more wealth on my bangles than...
She had married into a wealthy family and bore her husband 7 strong sons, each one more robust than the last. This blessing filled her heart not with gratitude, but with arrogance as thick as the morning fog over the savannah. Kamara's brother, Chidi, lived 3 villages away with his beloved wife, Adaeze. Adaeze was gentle as the first rain, patient as the spider weaving her web, and kind to every living creature. But for 7 long years, the spirits had not blessed her womb with children.
While Adaeze tended her garden with hope and helped raise the children of her neighbors with love, Kamara watched from afar with eyes that burned like hot coals. "My brother has married a barren stick," Kamara would announce to anyone who would listen, slapping her generous hips. "What use is a wife who cannot give her husband children? I have given my husband 7 sons, 7! The ancestors smile upon me because I am worthy." The village elders would shake their heads and turn away, for they knew that pride was a beast that devoured its keeper.
Kamara's husband would plead with her to be kind, but his words bounced off her hardened heart like pebbles off a crocodile's back. One scorching afternoon, when the sun sat angry and swollen in the sky, Kamara could contain her poison no longer. She wrapped her finest cloth around her waist, balanced a calabash on her head for show, and marched the long, dusty road to her brother's compound. Her feet pounded the earth with the fury of a coming storm, and the birds fell silent as she passed. When she arrived, she found Adaeze in the courtyard, grinding millet, with the patient rhythm of one who has learned to find peace in small tasks. The younger woman looked up with a smile that would have melted stone, but Kamara's heart was harder than any stone. "So," Kamara's voice cracked across the compound like a whip, "here sits the empty vessel, the dried gourd, the tree that bears no fruit." She threw down her calabash, and it shattered into 100 pieces. "My brother deserves better than a useless wife who shames our family name." Adaeze rose slowly, dignity clothing her like a royal robe. "Sister," she said softly, "children are a blessing, not a measure of worth. I pray for them, yes, but I am not defined by what I lack. Can you say the same?" These words, spoken with such gentle power, struck Kamara like a thunderbolt. Her rage exploded. She lunged forward, her hands reaching to strike, her mouth spewing curses that would make the hyenas cringe. But as her feet carried her forward, the earth itself seemed to shift. From the very spot where Adaeze had been grinding millet, the ground began to tremble. Kamara stumbled, her arms windmilling in the air. The ancient mortar and pestle, blessed by generations of grandmothers, began to glow with an otherworldly light. The ancestors, who see all and judge justly, had witnessed enough. Pride that mocks suffering, pride that strikes at the vulnerable, pride that poisons family bonds, this pride must return to the earth. "Help me!" she shrieked. "Brother, husband, someone!" "Only you can help yourself,"
the voice intoned. "Speak! What have you learned?" But Kamara's pride was too great. Even as the earth swallowed her to the waist, she spat and cursed. "I am better! My sons prove it! I deserve respect!" The earth had heard enough. With a sound like a sigh, it pulled Kamara down, 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 until where she had stood, only a bitter melon plant remained. Its fruit, beautiful on the outside, but impossibly bitter within, inedible and useless to no one.
When Chidi returned home, Adaeze told him everything. They stood together, looking at the strange plant, and Chidi wept for his sister's fate. But Adaeze took his hand and led him inside their home. 2 seasons later, Adaeze gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, children who would grow to become healers, known throughout the land for their compassion and wisdom. And beside their home, the bitter melon plant remained, a reminder to all who saw it that pride without kindness is poison, that blessing others brings blessing back, and that the measure of a person lies not in what they have, but in how they treat those who have less. The elders still tell this story when the children gather at dusk. They point to the bitter melon growing wild in the bush and say, "Remember Kamara, who had everything but lost it all. For the ancestors give to the humble and take from the proud. And the greatest curse is to become useless through your own bitterness." And so the story ends, as all good stories must, with wisdom born from sorrow and hope rising like the morning sun. If you enjoy this story, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.